everyone, this is Neha Tulsyan from Crescent Creation. Welcome to another video on my YouTube channel. This video is part 2 of the 3 videos in which I show you how to use this giant Happy Halloween die from Lawn Fawn in different ways. And in this video, I'm creating one card and I kind of get 2 cards. So one is a bonus card. So let's get started. The stamp sets that I use today are Costume Party, Fox Costumes Before and After, Spooktacular and Purrfectly Wicked stamp sets. I chose small images from all these stamp sets to create a beautiful background for my Halloween card. Once I had all my images, I put them in 2 acrylic blocks. And now I'm stamping the images using some Copic-friendly black ink on a white cardstock repetitively to create a pattern. This is one of my favorite ways to create a background for my cards. Once I have stamped the images and I have a little bit of area to fill in, I'll take single images and stamp them to fill the complete area. I do this quite often, and especially when I'm traveling. I create my own pattern paper or coloring pages like this, and I just carry my coloring mediums like Copic markers or color pencils and color these on the go. It's so therapeutic and fun. Even my 2-year-old loves this. Not that she colors them, she just scribbles on them, but she just loves this, especially when we are out either for a long drive or something. She knows that mama's gonna bring her coloring supplies and she can go through them and select few of her favorites and color her own coloring pages. So here I'm gonna go ahead and put some music for you to enjoy the coloring. If you do not like me watching coloring, you can skip forward for the process video. So here I'm done coloring. Now I'm going to go ahead and do some die cutting. I have taped my giant Happy Halloween die in the center of this background, and now I'm die cutting it using my Spellbinder's die cutting machine. Once die cut, I'll put it aside and die cut 3 more Happy Halloween sentiments out of white cardstock. Once done die cutting, I'll put my machine aside, and now it's time to glue these 3 white die cuts together to create a raised sentiment. So here I'm adding liquid glue to one of the sentiments, and I'm gonna go ahead and glue the second sentiment on top of it. Once those two are stacked together, I'll go ahead and add some more liquid glue and stack up the third one. And here I'm just using my paintbrush to brush off those small slivers of cardstocks that's stuck around your die cut. Here I'm carefully removing my die cut sentiment out of the colored background, and I'm going to go ahead and glue that background to a black cardstock. Once that's done, I'll go ahead and put my sentiment back in place, and now using that sentiment as a guide, glue in the negative pieces using some liquid glue. And this is the reason I was being careful removing the sentiment die cut out of the negative piece, so that everything stays together and it's easy to glue the negative bits and pieces. Next, I'll go ahead and glue the white stacked up sentiment in place. I forgot to glue one of the centers of the piece, so here I'm just gluing that. Next, to dress up the Happy Halloween sentiment, I wanted to add some glitter to it. So here is my way of adding glitter to a cardstock if you don't have a glitter cardstock. Just use a glitter pen. And if you think your glitter pen is not glittery enough, use the Stardust liquid from Lawn Fawn, and that will really make everything look very, very, very glittery. So I picked up the Stardust liquid from my Nuvo glitter pen, and I just added a lot of glitter to my Happy Halloween sentiment. And next I'm using my Nuvo crystal drop in ebony black color and adding that to the top half of my sentiment. This one little step gives the whole card a very spooky feel. And once I'm done with this, I'll keep it aside to dry. I actually let it dry overnight, and now I'm working on it next day. So here I'm just going ahead and gluing this to a white mini slimline card base that measures 3.5 inches by 6.5 inches. And next I'm using my white gel pen to add some highlights to all these images. And look at this beauty. It just looks beautiful. I love the shine on those sentiments, and that black Nuvo crystal top looks amazing. Now I just have to add a stamped sentiment and some embellishment to this card, which I will do a little later. And here I'm working on my bonus card. So here I have a black cardstock that measures 3 inches by 6.5 inches. And I'm gluing it to a white mini slimline card base that measures 3.5 inches by 6.5 inches. Here I'm adding some glitter to my black cardstock using Stardust liquid and my glitter pen. And since I'm adding glitter everywhere, I decided to add some glitter to my Happy Halloween sentiment too that was die cut out of that colored background. And I mean, why not? Halloween can be spooky and glittery. Once done adding glitter, I'll heat set both of these using my heat tool, and now I'm going to go ahead and glue my sentiment directly to the card base using some liquid glue. Next I'm going to go ahead and white heat emboss the sentiment. No tricks, just treats, from Purrfectly Wicked add-on stamp set. Prepping my black cardstock using some anti-static powder tool and stamping the sentiment in clear ink. Poured some white embossing powder on top of the stamped sentiment and heat set it using my heat tool off camera. Since I had 2 cards today, I stamped and embossed 2 of the sentiments, and now I'm using my trimmer to trim these sentiments down. Next I'll use my scissors to create a fishtail on both ends of the sentiment and glue the sentiment on the first card using some foam tape. And that almost finishes my first card. And for my second card, when I tried to glue this sentiment on top of it, I did not like the black background and the black sentiment strip. So I stamped another sentiment on white cardstock using black ink, trimmed the sentiment down using my guillotine trimmer, created fishtails at both ends using my scissor, and glued it down using some foam tape. Lastly, adding some embellishments to both the cards. For the top one, I'm adding some black rhinestones, and for the bottom card, I'll go ahead and add some white pearls. And that finishes my 2 cards for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Do watch the first video in this series, which is linked in the description box below. Here are a few more videos that you might like to watch. Thank you for visiting. Have a nice day.